everybody, welcome back to Inside Man United. My name is Rowan Brennan. Thank you once again for joining me. And if it is your first time, thanks for checking us out. The Bayern game's over. If you want to know my thoughts on that game, you can just run back into the library and check out my Bayern Munich Man United match review. 3 positive takeaways, 3 negative takeaways. I go into all of it on our last episode. This episode, however, we got to look to the future. We got to look to the Burnley game. Just a quick recap of how I think the teams are going to line up, what I think we can expect from United, and just the general level of importance of this game. The season starts on Saturday. Let's get into it. So starting off, this is a must-win game for Erik ten Hag and this Man United team. Injuries be damned, it doesn't really matter. I think we showed against Bayern that this team can play football when it decides to concentrate. Turf Moor is a tough place to go. Vincent Kompany's Burnley has not done amazingly well in terms of results. They've had a couple of difficult fixtures, but they're experiencing what most very good ball-playing teams from the Championship experience when they come into the Premier League. They cannot play the type of football that got them into the Premier League in the first place. They just come up against better opposition that are just easily able to deal with the type of progressive football that they may want to play, and then a pragmatic approach is then really needed in order for these teams to try and get something out of games from most opposition they'll face in the Premier League. Burnley are they're a good side. They're physical. They're big. They know how to get forward. But United need to just concentrate on their own game and focus on what it is they're good at. 3 points is absolutely required here. I've watched other fan channels and they're saying, listen, at the rate things are going, I'd take a draw. Some people think we're going to lose against Burnley. And that can't even enter into the equation. Whatever about the negativity surrounding the Bayern Munich game, there is just no way we can go into a game against Burnley, who are in the bottom end of the table, thinking that we should be happy with a draw. We need to beat them, and we need to beat them convincingly. And I honestly think that we can do it. That performance against Bayern, while poor defensively, I think improvements will be made in a defensive sense, and I think we're gonna score goals against Burnley. I really, really do. The lineup, I think it should be slightly different to how we lined up against Bayern Munich. McTominay showed in that game, and that was a player I chose to start in the Munich game. I thought he just had better defensive awareness than Eriksen. Eriksen has proven time and time again, he is not a number 8. He's a number 10. It's that straightforward. He needs to replace Bruno when Bruno needs a rest, or to replace Bruno when we want to rest him for an entire game. Just give Eriksen some minutes and keep Bruno fresh for those, more important games. He played the most games of any player last season, nearly totaling 60 games in total. We can't keep doing that to him, provided that he's our captain and how important he is to the way we play and how he links up defense and how he leads the team. We need to give him time off. And Eriksen should be coming in to replace him as a number 10. In midfield, Bruno should be playing as a number 10. We need our captain. We need our leader. However, we need Casemiro, who got 2 very important goals. I didn't think, some people thought he played very well against Munich. I didn't think he played amazingly well. I thought he switched off on occasion. Again, he did have Eriksen beside him, who's not a great number 8. And Bruno's off, obviously doing his own thing. He can't be expected to come back and help out defensively. So Casemiro has looked isolated, and I think he's been made look worse than he actually is. But his fitness has been poor since the beginning of the season, and he looks like he's slowly regaining some form. And I want to see youth and exuberance, excitement in beside him, and I want Hannibal Mejbri there. Hannibal Mejbri is a midfielder. He is more on the attacking sense, but so is Eriksen. And I think Hannibal has a little bit more bite to him. I think he's a bit more robust, a bit more physical. He certainly is going to have a better engine and more fitness. And I think that is the midfield trio. Certainly, I think we should be playing a 4-2-3-1 with Hannibal and Casemiro playing deep, with Hannibal being expected to maybe take the ball off Casemiro, help him in defence, and play a little bit deeper and use that attacking prowess that he has to try and maybe set up some attacks, lay the ball off to Bruno, and then help move up the pitch and give an extra option for Bruno when he's looking to lay it off to one of the front three. So my formation overall would be a 4-2-3-1. Reguilon in at left back and Martinez and Lindelof in the middle of the pitch, of course, and Dalot at right back. We don't really have any other choice at the moment. As soon as Shaw is back fit, which looks like it won't be for a while, I'd be putting Shaw in the middle. If Varane isn't fit, there is talk Varane might be back. If Varane is fit, I would, of course, be starting with Martinez and Varane. Varane was almost fit for the Munich game. I think it was a little bit too soon for him, but I would be starting Martinez and Varane if possible. Of course, if that's not the case, Lindelof. So I'll change my choice to a Varane-Martinez pairing. However, if Varane might come off the bench at half-time, I don't know if he'll be starting the game, but if he is fit, of course, we should start him. So that's my back four with Onana in goal, of course. Hopefully he has not allowed that gaffe against Bayern to affect him too badly. Listen, it was a mistake. I don't think the team are going to get down on him too hard. And credit to Onana coming out and giving an interview after the game and holding his hands up and kind of, mea culpa and just, holding his hands up and just facing the media and taking some ownership of it, which it takes balls to do that. And I liked seeing it. And I hope it doesn't affect his confidence too much and he carries on. And for all the De Gea supporters who were probably trying to hang him when he was at the club going, De Gea would have saved that. Do you remember all the saves De Gea didn't make? De Gea did about 20 of what you saw Onana did against Bayern Munich and did them more and more often in the final 2 or 3 years of his tenure. So the comparisons between Onana and De Gea need to stop. If you're a fan of this club, you need to support the keeper that we have and support the team. It's kind of in the name, being a supporter of the club. You're not just there to sit back and just, they win and to make you feel good and for you allow your week to carry on. It's through thick and thin. Yeah, you can have a bitch and a moan every now and again, but complaining about the keeper and bitching about a keeper who's never coming back and who is gone and trying to, he would have saved this. It doesn't do any good. It doesn't do anyone any good. Onana's who we've got. That's who we're going to have for the next few years. You need to get behind him and support him. And if he messes up, getting on his ass isn't going to make him perform any better. So just let the guy try and get on with his job and support him, okay? Support the team. Onana in goal and they're the back four. Middle three, Hannibal, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. I'm hoping Hannibal comes in and provides a little bit of youth, steel, exuberance and tries to prove that he can get back into that team. Obviously, Kobe Mainu is now back in training on grass, doing some light running. He should be coming back soon as well. Amrabat, I think it might be a little bit too soon for him to be coming back as well, but we have a wealth of midfield options to come in. So a good opportunity for Hannibal to come in and maybe give Eriksen a rest. McTominay certainly has played himself out of the starting 11 and even the starting squad once all our midfielders are fit. Listen, he came through the youth system, McTominay. I didn't expect him to be as negative and poor as he is, but he's basically a jilted lover. He's been cast aside. It's been made abundantly clear that there is no route for him into the team other than what's going on now, which is exceptional circumstances. Ten Hag wanted rid of him in the summer. We had a bid for him, quite a substantial amount of money, and I've no doubt Erik Ten Hag kind of resents the fact that McTominay didn't move on because we could have got reinforcements that we very, very badly need. And I'm sure Ten Hag is in some way blaming McTominay for the situation that he's currently in and, has to play him out of necessity, really. McTominay's out the door. He knows there's no route back and he's basically just giving a shit about playing for this club. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. I can see reasons why you'd be like, well, you don't want me. Well, fuck you. But also you're being paid and you've got a contract. You're still at the club and you've been there since you were a boy. So have some pride in your job. But you see him jogging back and having Bruno, who has a much smaller stride than McTominay, overtaking McTominay to get back to try and defend. McTominay just sauntering back. He can go and do one. And I hope he's not even on the bench. His performance against Bayern was pathetic and it was awful against Brighton as well. So thanks, Scott, for the memories, but you're no longer needed. Thanks. So I'd have Hannibal and Casemiro and Fernandes in that middle three. Up top, I heard someone say something on the United stand, Beth, one of the presenters there, and it kind of resonated with me. Martial looks fit. Now, we've all seen a million false dawns with Anthony Martial with regards his fitness and his form, so I'm not getting excited, but he came on against Munich last night, and he changed the way we played. He presented a lot of problems. He was beating men. He was dribbling past 2 or 3 players. His feet looked quick. He looked quick. He looks trim. He looks strong. He looks eager. And I was impressed with how he played last night. I would like to see Martial start on the left. That for me puts Rashford on the right. Rashford was awful against Munich. He was slow and ponderous, coming back to help out the team in defence, throwing his arms around, looking a little bit fed up on occasion. He did have some successful dribbles, granted. But I want to see Rashford on the right, mainly because he's right-footed, and I want him putting in crosses and passes into that middle section, and maybe laying the ball off to Bruno so he can, put in a line-breaking pass for either Højlund or Martial. I want to see our best 3 attackers playing. Now, Garnacho and Pellistri. Pellistri was fine against Munich. I don't think he pulled up any trees. Garnacho was okay. I'd like to see him get some minutes as well. However, I want to see Rashford on the right. Number one, put in a shift working back down the pitch to help out in your defensive duties. And if you do that, maybe you can be put back out on the left, your favourite position. But for now, you're going to do what you're told and go out onto the right. Run, put in some effort, and show the manager and show your teammates that you're willing to bust a gut and get back and provide some defensive work. Putting Rashford out in the right also forces him to shoot less, which I want to see him doing, which is shoot less. Of course, he laid off the ball for Højlund's goal yesterday, but he still does have a tendency to want to cut in and take the shot himself when he's coming in from that left-hand side. We've got Martial to do that. I think he's got a little bit more trickery. I think he's able to beat a man a little bit better than Rashford without having to just rely solely on pace. And I want to see Rashford putting in crosses with his right foot, and of course Højlund in the middle. So I'd have a 4-2-3-1 with the 2 pivot being Casemiro and Hannibal, Bruno up top, flanked with Martial and Rashford with Højlund up top. That's how I want to see United play. Reguilon, I'm looking forward to seeing that guy play more and more. He was very lively against Bayern Munich. I really was excited to see what he could do, and I'm looking forward to him continuing down that flank and seeing what he can provide to the attacking players. He busted a gut. He ran all around the place. His defensive work was good. People keep kind of using the same cliche. Oh, he's good going forward. He's not so good in the back. The same kind of bullshit that they probably read in an article without actually seeing the game for themselves or other games that he's played in for themselves. The guy can defend. He's a good defender. He made some very important tackles yesterday against Bayern Munich, and I think he's going to continue to do that at Turf Moor. But he's very good going forward. He's very lively, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do there. So, that is my lineup for the game. I'm going to be positive. I think United are going to score goals, and I think we're going to score a few of them. I think United are going to win this game 3-1. I think we need a convincing win. I think our forward players are starting to find a little bit of form, and I think if we remove McTominay and Eriksen from those number 8 duties and bring in Hannibal there to try and prove something, I think he's going to do it. So my prediction is 3-1, an important 3 points in the bag to get United back on the rails, to give a little bit of confidence to this team, to show that they can get back to winning matches and get a winning mentality and to avoid losing 4 matches in a row. Thank you very much for joining me once again. What do you think? What do you think the lineup should be? Would you have Eriksen back in there? Would you change the formation? Would you keep Rashford on the left and put on Pellistri? Would you have Garnacho? What would you do? Leave your comments. As always, hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.